We are conducting a study of the effectiveness of the Big Brothers and Big Sisters Mentoring Program, BBBS for short. The study is a randomized, controlled design. Each participating youth has a 75% chance of being selected for immediate program participation, and the remainder are on a waitlist control group to participate in the program following the end of their study participation. So just a little bit about the BBBS program. It matches adult volunteers with school-age youth for one-to-one mentoring. And these mentor youth pairs, they're referred to as matches, get together a few times a month, engage in social, recreational activities of their mutual interest out different places in the community. The mentor also supports their youth mentee with setting and achieving personal goals. Those could be in a lot of different areas such as school, peer relationships, exploring possible future careers. Matches are designed to last at least 1 year, with longer-term relationships encouraged and supported in the program. The agency staff play a key role. They screen and train each adult volunteer, oversee the matching process to get that optimal fit, hopefully between a compatible adult and young person, and then they provide ongoing support for the match through regular check-ins with the volunteer and the parent and the youth. The goal is that through all this, the matches develop into sustained sources of adult friendship and support, and when this happens, the idea is that the youth's development will be supported across really all areas: social, academic, emotional well-being, and helping them avoid getting involved in problem behaviors, example, substance use. As a side note, I'm also coming at this research with a personal interest. I've been a Big Brother in the program myself. I like to think this gives me some better attunement to what the staff already have on their plates with all those roles I just mentioned. And so when we're engaging, and we have engaged with them as researchers, be more mindful of all that they already have going on with the additional asks that we might make of them. Now the study, have involved about 1,350 youth between the ages of 10 and 16 at the start of the study, from 17 different agencies around the country in 13 different states. So each youth, as well as their parent or guardian, surveyed at the start of all that enrollment and the study, and then again, both about 1.5 and then 4 years later. The BBBS National Office provides access to data that the agencies routinely collect, such as demographic data on the mentors, start and end dates of each mentoring relationship, and so on. It would be difficult to overstate the importance of the BBBS agencies who are our community partners in this research. Due to limitations in our funding and other considerations, including participant privacy in terms of us not having undue access to who's in the program without their permission, we relied on BBBS staff to do all the work on the ground that was needed to screen youth for study eligibility, recruit them into the study, obtaining and documenting parent consent and youth assent, administering those baseline initial surveys I mentioned, and notifying the youth and the parent of whether they've been randomly selected for the immediate intervention group or that waitlist control group. All staff involved in these activities needed to complete human subjects training. They actually used this CIRTification training program, which was a wonderful resource for us. They also received additional training specific to our research, which included spending a lot of time with us discussing and practicing how to obtain assent from children for research, as well as how to administer those study surveys I mentioned accurately. All this was a big ask for the staff, but we couldn't have done it without them. We were fortunate to have resources to reimburse each agency for the staff time involved. From a logistical standpoint, we found it helpful for each agency to designate one staff person as a liaison to our team, and then they kind of were a conduit for us for all the relevant communications during the study, and with us as well when things were coming up on the ground that required our consultation. And so we held regular meetings with those liaisons throughout the 2 years it took to enroll our sample. And we also made our study coordinator available essentially for on-demand support, individualized support. Any question, any issue, he was basically available at any time on short notice to talk with them. These strategies, I think, were really essential for streamlining communication, maintaining good relations with the agencies. Again, keeping in mind this is on top of everything else that they already have going on, and in many cases was a unique role for them to be playing that they hadn't, an activity in supporting research they wouldn't have had experience with previously. And it helped us with quality control for study procedures. Should also point out that our initial conversations with the agencies helped us to improve our study procedures and design in a number of ways that were really helpful. Several staff members, for example, felt that there were some high-need youth who should not be at risk of being randomized to that wait-listed control group. In response, we adapted our procedures such that there was an allotment of youth for each agency that could be rolled directly into the program with no involvement in the research and that risk, so to speak, of needing to wait for program access. Agency staff also helped us realize that we needed to trim down the length of our study surveys. This is a very common issue, I think, with us as researchers. We get a little too enthusiastic. So we took their input and made them more manageable, both for staff to administer, but for the youth and the parents to complete as well. And we realized in doing so, we could ask fewer questions, still get the important information we need to answer our research questions.